Warhammer has a variety of enemies to slaughter in the name of the Emperor, the most popular being the Tyranid. Tyranids are by far the strongest of them all, with too many to even comprehend, and the different variations from little spores that explode on the battlefield to bile titans that demolish anything that comes across. They are truly a threat on the battlefield, and yet they are some of the most mindless of all of the Xenos. They are all connected to the hive mind, which tells them what to do, and they obey blindly. When you first see the Tyranids, you might not think of anything special other than they look like the xenomorphs from Aliens, or they're just bugs, which is how the Space Marines see them, but there's a lot more beyond just the insects. The Tyranids represent three main things. The first one being evolution. The way they evolve is by consuming both genetic and manufactured or biological matter. The second way is by consumption, simply eating and taking over a planet, claiming it as their own. The final representation is eminent domain. The Tyranids are sort of like a government, taking over a private planet for their own use no matter what it is. The Tyranids didn't always be these giant creatures of destruction. At first, they start off as phage cells, the little spores in battle that blow up whenever someone shoots it. The Tyranids have evolved and have learned what works, by eating and enabling their own rapid evolution and production. The Tyranids represent how humans have also evolved, both in Warhammer lore and in real life. We all evolve. Not fast, but we all evolve slowly. The thing is, we don't ever stop evolving. Even if it's really slow, we all never stop. Whether it's small things like having blue eyes, or bigger things like having resistance to disease. The Tyranids have evolved to adapt to the Space Marines' attacks. They saw that the phage cells wouldn't do much, so they evolved into the Bio-Titans that are meant to destroy the war machines. The second thing the Tyranids represent is consumption. Humans have an issue with consumption. Both they do it too much or they do it too little. What's become sort of a meme in American culture is that they use guns, they're fat, and all they care about is America. And then in places like Africa, they have too little food. There's an increasing issue with people not having enough food to eat, and that creates more issues for more people. The less they eat is the less likely their life is going to last long. Higher demand for food will only end in more issues no matter what it is. The way the Tyranids come into this is that when they eat more are made. The more are made, the more that just invade planets, kill whatever that comes in their way. But if they don't have enough, then they'll just recycle whatever carcasses are left. The Tyranids are sort of the opposite of humans, but they still show that issue with consumption and food in our world. In that if you eat too little, you'll die, and if you eat too much, you'll die. More in that if the Tyranids eat more, you'll die. The final example that the Tyranids represent is eminent domain. The official definition of eminent domain is eminent domain refers to the power of the government to take private property and convert it into public use, referred to as taking. The Tyranids are eminent domain to perfection. Their entire thing is taking. They are like a government in that the hive mind controls them, the hive mind tells them what to do, and they take over the planet, or whatever they need to kill. Some examples when humans have used eminent domain are Penn Central Transportation versus New York City, Lucas versus South Carolina Coastal Council, Callow versus City of New London, and Burman versus Parker. Those are just a few examples of humans using eminent domain. The Tyranids use eminent domain every time they invade a new planet. But I hope you enjoyed the video. This was pretty fun to make, even though it took a bit of time. Tyranids are probably my favorite faction in Warhammer, both if I start playing it and learn how to use them correctly, and the style, the story, and everything about them. Any information that I use specifically will be linked in the description. I'm glad you stuck around until the end. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.